I learned, and I feel, and I push it forward with my, what I call my nieces and my nephews, my god kids. You have a support system around you. They don't have to be blood to be family. I have that tattooed on me, on my ribs. You do not have to be blood to be family.
I just had an amazing conversation with Austin Howard. Austin produces the videos for CNG, and he also produces our podcast. His journey to this path is a fascinating one. Working through depression that he felt during COVID to now being on top of the world as he's pursuing his dream and living his passion. I think you're going to love hearing from Austin Howard. Do I start this off by saying I want to welcome Austin Howard to my podcast?
You could do it just like this.
Okay.
I say we just start it like this.
Okay, all right.
I think I'm just going to leave it exactly like this.
You know why? Because Austin is always the one that's on the other side of the table. He's the one that is recording our podcast. But today, Austin Howard is my guest. Welcome, Austin.
Thank you so much.
And can you tell us, what do you do for CNG?
So I am the creative manager for CNG. Our employee spotlights, putting this podcast together, photography that we show in our plants, working with our marketing team and others. That's my job. I get to be creative every day.
Yeah, well, for someone who's usually behind the camera, so to speak, you have an amazing voice.
I don't feel that way, but thank you.
It's really good. You have like a radio voice. I mean, you should be the one doing the interviews, Austin.
I think Shelly's going to do the backup if we ever need it.
Yeah,
So
wow.
if the backup ever needs a backup,
Yeah,
I'll do it.
Yeah, well, it's so awesome to have someone like you in our company that can do all this work, because you do an amazing job at it. And I want to thank you for just the phenomenal work. Every video you produce is amazing. I'm sure our podcast will be as well.
Thank you so much.
So tell me, how did you get into this?
So I've always kind of like been interested in just like the creative field. Growing up, like any other kid, I draw and I try and do that. I'd be interested in music. There's probably home videos of me air playing the guitar, playing a plastic guitar with the radio playing to like Born to Be Wild or something, singing Dolly Parton, playing toy drum kit, making like plays in our downstairs living room for my parents. Everything I've always done is had like a creative base. And it's just always interested me to just think in a different way. Not that necessarily that I'm trying to think in a different way. I was just kind of considered myself weird.
Yeah. Weird in a good way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think weird in a good way. So when you first started at CNG, this wasn't your job, was it?
No, I started in the Lexington campus. Films 3 on line 26.
Oh, wow.
On A shift. That is,
wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I started on line 26. Rich Selman was my supervisor. Hi, Rich. I hope you're listening. You better be. So yeah.
So how did you go from that to this?
So when I was on the line, I make friends semi easily. I'm pretty outgoing. I try to just be as vulnerable as possible and just be open to making new friends. There was a guy on our shift. He was a lead, Alex. He had actually got an opportunity to join the training department. When he joined the training department, he'd been there a few weeks, and then another opportunity came up for him outside of us for a Vita. And I was just making conversation. I said, hey, if you put a good word in for me, I have 11 years of training experience prior to coming to the company. Just put in a good work for me. Charles Marlowe was the manager of the training department at the time. I knew Charles for the gym. Charles is the reason I came to. Yeah.
Well, he's a great recruiter.
Yeah. So he's the reason I'm even here. And when I talked to Alex, he was like, I'll say something. And then I got an opportunity to interview. During the interview process, they were just kind of like asking, well, what do you like to do in your downtime?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, photography, I do videography. And like their eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, we want to do training videos. So like that was my my first step in
Mhm.
was, ooh, we can utilize the fact that he can do that. And so I started in the training department doing that, doing some training videos, and then COVID happened.
Ah, yes.
So during COVID, I think I had the one of the most rocky times
Mm,
at the start, just like everyone
yeah,
during that. We all got separated into buildings.
yeah.
My they're gonna hate me for saying this, but it's true. My office was the break room.
The break room.
The break room. I
Yes.
sat on a plastic chair with my computer was on a bar stool.
Yeah.
If I had a meeting, I'd sit in the stairwell.
Wow.
So that's what I was doing. So I was in a pretty deep depression because I didn't get to do all the stuff that I'd been working towards.
Mhm.
Um, and then the opportunity came up to where we were doing communications. We needed to find a
Yes,
way
we did, I
to,
remember.
yeah, so we needed to do the communications. And Mark Cascio came to me. He was like, "Hey, if we record something, can we edit it so we can distribute it out?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I just pulled double duty. I would go home because I had all my editing software at home, and I would do that.
Mhm.
Um, you saw that one
I
and asked
did.
if I would do it
I
for the
did.
other side, and then that's kinda where everything kinda started snowballing because then you asked if I would do the, um, internal announcement of our merger.
Yes.
So I got to do that, and then just marketing and everything just started snowballing, and it just kept picking up steam, and I started traveling for the company during lockdown almost.
You did.
So
You
it
did.
was
You were a
I
hero.
went from deep, deep depression to doing everything that I love in a matter of a few months.
That's amazing.
It was the weirdest experience of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. What was that like? I mean, when you think about when you were in the feeling depressed, about your life and situation, what kept you going? Like, how did you find the strength to keep going for that dream?
It was one of those things. I've gotten really, really fortunate, and I'm not a kiss ass, but I have to say I wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for this company and the people that I've really gotten to work for, the people who've been my supervisors. Um, I'll say him.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich Selman was my supervisor on the floor. Him and
Mhm.
I understood each other. Having Charles Marlowe be
Yeah.
the one that brought me into the company and being my cheerleader and pushing me to do what I love every single day. Jamie Hauserman doing the exact same thing. She was making sure, like, during the pandemic that I had everything I need. It never said no to me. And now having Shelly Hickman as my boss now, like, it's taken everything to the next level every single time. I have the best support system here to make sure that I can get what I need done and do it in the way that I want to do it. And I
Yeah.
think that's really, really special for me. And I don't know. I'm really, really lucky.
Yeah,
So
well, that makes me very happy to hear.
yeah.
I love that you're getting the support
Mhm,
and have, really been able to blossom here at
mhm.
CNG and make such a phenomenal contribution.
Thank you.
So tell me about your life. Tell me what do you do outside of work?
Okay, so outside of work, it's still we just do. I mean, I do a lot of creative stuff.
Mhm.
I'll talk about that a little bit further. But a friend and I we work on music together. We do films together. We did a short film last year, our very first one.
Really?
We did shot it all in one night. Um, it was difficult to say the least.
What's the film about?
We did like a B late rated, horror. Like, it's like,
Well, I
those, like, like, not corny
yeah,
actually, it's funny because it's
yeah.
actually about corn, but,
Uh,
like, corny
yeah.
horror movie, but we loved it. It's something that we really wanted to put ourselves out there and do, um, and we're always writing new stuff all the time. I work with do, music with another friend of mine. I actually get an opportunity. I'm gonna be, playing live shows again starting this year, which is really strange to me because it's been 10 years since I've played music live.
What instrument?
I play bass. So, yeah,
Okay.
I play bass, so I get an opportunity to, play live music again. Um, I paint, so
So you're
I'll do, like,
very
arts.
creative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
I
are a
do,
creative soul.
art shows, any chance that I get. And other than that, I spend a lot of time with my girlfriend. We go to concerts, we go to museums. My girlfriend Katie, we've been together just over 4 years now. She is my biggest supporter, my best friend. Yeah, I couldn't say enough amazing things about her. We have dogs together, our fur babies,
Your fur
my
babies.
fur babies.
Yeah. So
So we
this
get
morning you were telling me a story that I wonder if you'll share with our
yeah.
audience here.
So over Memorial Day weekend, my girlfriend, she's on the board. She's the president of the board of the Richland County Humane Society in
Okay.
Ohio. We got a message that they had taken over 80 animals from one singular house.
Wow.
Yeah, and during that, we rushed right over to start helping.
So you were part of getting the dogs out of this
We
house,
were at the receiving.
the
So,
receiving.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
receiving. So, as they were taking dogs, they were stacked in horse trailers, they were stacked in sheds, in their
In
cages.
cages.
Yeah. So we were a part of that. And we spent, the weekend there. Almost all day Friday or Saturday. She went back Sunday, and then we went back on Monday as well. It's just changing out newspapers, giving food, water, making sure they get the baths, just helping receive
Mhm.
donations, stuff like that. It was the way that I saw the community come together when that news got out was incredible because I'd never been a
Yeah.
part of that. And I hope I'm never a part of it again. I hope that never happens again. It's heartbreaking because um animals are just we don't deserve them.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
We have we have 2 French bulldogs. We have a mix. He's 14 and a half now. We love that dog so much. We have 2
What are their
cats.
names, your
So,
dogs?
one of our French bulldogs' names is Scrump.
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 All right.
We have a rescue French bulldog we got this past year named Cricket. Our mix, he's our 14-year-old, his name is Dylan. We have, another rescue cat, his name is Muffin Man. And then actually one that we got at, Films 2 in Lexington, he was hiding in some pallets.
Oh, wow.
His name is Weeble. So
Weeble.
yes.
All right.
So and then we on, the Monday after Memorial Day, we're fostering, one of the pregnant mamas, a
Mhm.
dachshund wiener dog. Um, and she just actually gave birth, this past week before I came here.
While you were fostering her.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's
so tell me about that. Tell me about fostering.
fostering is tough because it's hard not to get attached to them.
Yeah.
We fostered a kitten. I think it was within the first year of us dating, we fostered a kitten, and my mom fell in love with him. His name is
Oh.
Pudge.
So
I
your mom
n-
kept the
yeah, I name a lot of our animals, so they have weird names. Um,
cute though.
so she fell in love with that cat. She kept him. And then she's fostered Muffins was a foster failure. Uh, all of ours are rescue except for Scrump. I did get her from a breeder, but she was 6 months old when I got her, and she would drag her back legs.
Mm,
So no one would take her.
yeah.
No one wanted anything to do with because she drag her back legs. So I just rolled the dice on her. I tell the story, no one ever believes me. I took her home. I Googled Frenchie will not walk. Shelly can attest that just is pure comedy. If you Google Frenchie will not walk. But
And something came up?
so after a long time looking, I finally found this thing. It said, take him out into a field,
Mhm.
set him down in the field, walk in a circle around him 3 times, turn direction, walk the opposite direction, they'll get up. She did it.
No. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That isn't Google amazing?
Yep. So, and then
Wow.
she was fine. Had no health issues, nothing. She's amazing. She's 8. She's coming up on her gotcha day, July 3rd.
Ah,
Had her 8 years.
that's
So,
a cute story. So tell me about where you grew up, how you grew up, a little bit about your family.
so I grew up in Shelby, Ohio, which is just 2 towns over from Lexington, town over from Ontario in Ohio. I grew up. I have a half brother, and then he has a half brother. So I grew up.
So is that a quarter brother?
So I don't know how that works. We're not blood related.
Oh, okay.
We're not blood related. So me and my brother Justin, we have the same dad, and then
Okay.
his brother Kyle, they have the same mom.
Ah.
So I'm one of one. My mom's only son. My dad's only he has two sons, and but we were raised in three. So it was
Mhm.
a weird situation, but I couldn't imagine growing up any other way. Um, so we would my parents were electricians. My dad and my mom were electricians.
Your mom was an
My mom was an
electrician.
electrician, so
Wow.
for they both work for GM.
Uh-huh.
And then my stepmom, she, works at Decca. She still does. She's retired, like, I'd say 600 times from this company. It just keeps going back.
Yeah.
She yeah. But I grew up each of them worked their own shift. So my stepmom worked first, my dad worked second, my mom worked third.
Wow.
So I would just rotate
Yeah.
just throughout the day. I'd wake up with my dad, spend time with my mom in the afternoons, or if it was, during the school year, my stepmom would pick me up off the bus, and then we would do homework at that, and then I would spend summers with my grandma, all summer,
Wow.
like, as much as humanly possible with my grandma. So, my mom's mom, like, loved spending summers with my grandma.
Yeah, tell me about that. What was she like?
She's the
Is she
best
still
person in the world.
alive?
No, unfortunately not. I lost her. If my math's correct, she was 72 for 20 years, so I have no idea how old she
I
was,
can
when
relate
she
to that.
passed.
Yeah.
That's what she'd always tell me, but, like, my mom and my dad, my stepmom, they all, would if I wanted to go to grandma's house, yeah, go. Have at
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
I spent so much time with my grandma, and for her as active as she was, because I was a hyper kid, as active as she was with me, she taught me how to, play baseball, not that my dad didn't, but, like, she was one of the first
Mhm.
to teach me. She'd go outside with me and throw the wiffle ball, and I'd smack it, and we had mini horses and goats and all this stuff, and she was so active with me and made sure that, I got all the attention in the world. It was amazing. She'd
Yeah.
let me do anything.
Yeah, well, that's what grandmas are for, right? I mean,
Oh, she'd still
they're
discipline
yeah,
me.
to spoil the
Yeah,
kids.
she'd
Yeah.
still discipline me, but not in a bad way, just in a, "Get your butt over here."
So
So,
when you think about how you grew up, because that is a little unusual,
it
right?
is.
With all the dynamics at
Mhm.
play. How do you think it shaped you into who you are? What lessons learned, or how did that make you into who you are?
I learned, and I feel, and I push it forward with my what I call my nieces and my nephews, my godkids. Um, you have a support system around you. They don't have to be blood to be family. I have that tattooed on me, on my ribs. You do not
Yeah.
have to be blood to be family. Because that's how I was raised. I'm not blood related to my stepmom, but her family took me and my brother in as if not. I was texting my cousin Clay yesterday just because, we're not blood related. We don't have to be as close as we want to be. So to be around a support system that has your back and your best interests in mind, whether it's I'm at my brother's mom's house, who I'm not blood related to. I'm spending that, or his brother's dad's house, who I'm definitely not related to, or having him over at my mom's house, who we're not related. Like there's no difference the way that we grew up. Like it didn't feel like non-traditional
Yeah, it's what you
because
knew,
yeah,
right?
it's all I knew,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't wanna grow up any other way. So, I just learned that ha people are if people care about you, they're gonna be there for you, and you have this amazing support system that surrounds you, and I always wanna make sure that, the kids in my life, like I said, my nieces, my nephews, what I call my nieces and my nephews, my best friend's kids or my god kids, that
Mhm.
they know that I'm always there for them, and if they need anything, that I got their back. Period. I'm no with no judgment. So, and I think that they know that they can come to me if they're feeling vulnerable, if they just wanna talk, or if
Yeah.
they just don't wanna talk.
That's
That's
so important, Austin. I mean, it's so great that you can be that kind of influence in their life.
I try. They're at the age
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm starting to not be cool.
yeah.
So, 14, 15, 16, I'm
Those
not
are
cool
tough
anymore.
ages,
Yeah, I'm not cool anymore.
but I'm sure they know you're there for them.
Yeah.
I think you're cool.
Thank you.
So if you could meet anyone, anyone at all, either from history or alive today, who would it be? Why?
Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters,
Ah,
Nirvana.
all
That
right.
that dude is awesome. He's done everything that I've wanted to do in life. He's, God, he gets to play music, he gets to make movies, documentaries.
Is he
He's
producing a podcast?
he's been on a lot of
Has
podcasts.
he
He has
producing
not
one?
I don't know,
All
I don't
right.
think he's produced
See,
one. I have
you're
one leg up on
yeah.
Dave Grohl right now. But I mean, yeah, and he's so cool and he's so real, and it's so awesome to see because with with celebrities and pseudo celebrities, whatever you want to call them, they put up this facade of who they are, and I have to be perfect and blah blah blah, and you can't say anything or you're gonna make somebody upset. Dude is real, and
Yeah.
I just love it, and like his authenticity is just amazing, and he won't pull a punch.
Yeah.
I've seen him. I'll just like YouTube videos. I've seen him stop playing music because somebody got in a fight during their concert, and he just kicks them out. Like who he's protecting his fans. He's out there. He's fighting for the things that he believes in. He worked on this book and its documentary series with his mom. Um, talking about mothers and their influence in life of creatives. He interviewed people like the singer from Imagine Dragons and Pharrell Williams and like all these amazing artists and people. And his mom was a teacher. She was a public school teacher.
Mhm.
Um, and the fact that she understood that what he was going through, that he wasn't getting what he needed from being in school, and she let him drop out of school.
At what age?
I think he was 16 or 17 years old. He dropped out,
And she's a teacher.
and she's a teacher.
Wow.
But she understood what he needed and to grow and flourish in his life. And it's so awesome to see because, like, that's what I got from my family. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
no one ever pushed me to do anything. I got to try everything.
Mm.
Didn't matter what it was. And to see that there's so many successful people out there who got that same, you know, love and attention, it's like eye-opening. It's like, wow. I don't know. Dave Grohl for me is like the
Yeah.
coolest dude in the
Well,
world.
I hope you get to meet him someday because
Fingers crossed.
if he heard you say all that about him, I'm sure it would
Yeah.
inspire him.
I got to see them, the last concert they did before going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, at the House of Blues in Cleveland, so, like, a small venue show. It
Wow.
was
Wow.
incredible,
Yeah.
incredible. So, yeah.
So if you could relive any part of your life, go back to age 18, if that portal opened and you could walk in, is there anything you'd do different or change in your life?
I don't think I'd change anything. I just tell me it's gonna be alright.
Yeah.
It's like it it took me a while to figure out life. It
Yeah.
took me a long while to figure out life. My family loves to lovingly poke at me about it, but like I just swam in open water and just tried to figure it out. And I don't think I have life figured out, but I figured out that if I do what I want to do stuff that I'm passionate about, and put everything that I have into it, and be honest with myself about it, then I'll be successful doing it. Period. Like it doesn't matter if I make $1 million or $4. If I'm doing it and I get that fulfillment out of it, then I'm successful.
That's great advice. Great
So
advice for anyone.
yeah, that's how, yeah, I just tell them, dude, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
You will. And you have,
Yeah.
Austin. Okay, so Austin, it's time to turn the table. You can ask me any question you want.
What's the most creative thing that you do?
The most creative thing, I actually paint.
You do.
Yes.
What kind of
So
paintings do you do?
watercolor.
Really?
So about 7, 8 years ago, I went to a spa retreat with my youngest daughter, and she was gonna do, a watercolor class, painting class, and I said, "Oh, that's fun," and I'm thinking, "I have no interest in that. I don't even know how to paint. I don't even know how to draw." So, for whatever reason, I ended up wandering down there, and there was an extra seat, and I sat down next to her, and I got the paper and the watercolors, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I found out I had a natural talent at it.
That's
And
awesome.
I didn't start doing that until I was in my 50s. And so then I bought myself watercolors and paper, and I will just sit sometimes. I have to be in the mood for it.
Yeah,
And
same.
I don't look at any picture for inspiration. I just start picking up the brush and seeing what comes out of me. And I'm always amazed.
Yeah. I'm the same way. It's like I don't wanna do it all the time when it comes to
Yep.
painting. It's just when the mood strikes me and I have something in my head, I have to get it out.
Yes.
Like, that's how I
That's
am.
that's
So,
exactly how I
yeah.
am. Yeah, it feels like something's being released onto
Yeah.
the paper, and many times I don't share it with anybody. I'll just throw it away, whatever I painted.
Yeah.
But then sometimes my husband will see it. He gets everything framed, no matter how good it is. He takes it and gets it framed.
Yeah. Did you go, like, all in, like, when you started it? Because that's what I did.
Yeah,
It's
I
like, it just
did.
went out and spent too
I
much money.
I did, and
Yep.
and I don't paint nearly as much as I should. I keep thinking that when I retire someday, I'll be sitting painting.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah. All right, Austin, it's time to wrap up our interview here. I I I I just first of all want to tell you what a fascinating person you are and just what an amazing job you do and how creative you are and how much we all rely on you to produce these videos for us and you do it so effortlessly and now producing our podcasts. So,
Thank you so
Austin
much.
Howard, you inspire me.
Thank you so much. I'm leaving all this in. I'm leaving
25.
all this in.
Okay.
All of it. I'm not cutting a thing.